Hey everybody, welcome to Live Coding with Jesse. I'm Jesse, and today we're going to do some design and dev work on a homepage for our React site, and we're using Material Design, and we have a framework called Material UI that we're using to build things out. So we're going to be working with that, and all the code's available. There's a link in the description. And I thought I'd start out today by giving a very brief overview of the project, since we haven't done an overview for a while. This is the 35th stream, I believe. So we're pretty far into this project, and I know some of you are kind of jumping in the middle. So let me give just a really quick breakdown. And that'll give everybody a chance to join in as well if they're just getting their notifications that we've gone live. So we have a React site that we built with Next.js. Primarily we went with Next.js because it offers very easy server-side rendering. We have all our content housed in a WordPress installation. So that means it's a MySQL database. On WordPress, we have the WP GraphQL plugin, and that allows us to pull data from that MySQL database with GraphQL and bring it into our React application. So whenever we grab data, we're almost exclusively using GraphQL. The reason we went with WordPress is because it's very easy for people who don't really know a lot about code to input content. So that's why we went with that. It's also very stable and has a large user base. So we've made a custom plugin to give us a lot of different post types and taxonomies. If you're not familiar with WordPress, terminology and things, there's just different ways for us to house our data and to make it very simple for people who are managing content to know where to put the data. And that's it. I mean, that's pretty much the overview of where we're at. We've had some other steps along the way. We had to migrate some data, but overall, that's the structure of the project so far. So right now, I'm at the point in the project where I need to make it look nice enough to present it to some people here at the university that I work for. So I'd like to have that presentable looking by tomorrow morning, and then I'll have a meeting, my first of several meetings, where I get to display this. So that's where we're at right now. If anyone has any questions about how we set anything up, let me know. I could at least point you to the stream where we set that up, so you can watch the setup process yourself, or I can take a few minutes and explain it. Let's see. I just want to say hi and read through a little bit in the live chat now before we start to see if there's anything I should address now. Okay, great. So Nikki has some advice for my presentations about, it says to talk about its value to visitors, not only its features. All right, that's really good advice. If anyone has any advice for me when I go to present the site, please let me know. I'm going to be talking to different groups. So one group is going to be people that are like in charge of the university, and another group is going to be people who are primarily, they interact with the students, they're in charge of the student life department. I think I might do, I don't think I'm going to meet with faculty members. I think I'm going to do like a live stream for faculty members. We're going to call it a webinar because that's more like with their terminology that they're used to. So that's, depending on the group, I may focus a little bit more on different features. I've even thought about kind of changing some of the content we have on the homepage for different groups, but I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. We still have some work to do right now. So let me switch over so that you all can see what I'm seeing on one of my screens here. So here's the code. Let me just catch you up on what I've done. I've created this list card component, which we did a lot of the styling for that yesterday, but I've split it out into a component. Yeah, this is too small. Make it a little bigger. Okay. And let me try to get as much out of the way as we can. So here's the new component, and all the code is up to date in GitHub. So if you click the link below, you'll be able to see it, and you can also see the website. If I start this ngrok server, you'll be able to check out the website on your own computer. There it is. So if you can view the live chat, there's a link now in the live chat to check out this site. Unfortunately, if you're watching later on, this ngrok server probably won't be running, so you won't have access to it. Otherwise, I would put the link in the description as well. And I can, for those of you who can't see the site right now, I'm going to pull this over. And we're primarily doing the mobile view of the site right now. So I've been kind of showing it at this view. And this is a very small phone. So the odds of somebody having a phone like this are low, but I really want to make sure it looks all right on all different devices. So you may notice some differences. I'll try to point them out as I go through. So we still have the cute little dog as our background picture, which we'll need to get rid of that. I keep putting it off because I'm hoping that someone else in my department will send me a picture that they really think would work. It hasn't happened yet, but I'd rather not spend a lot of time going through pictures because I can spend a lot of time on that. So one thing that I did do is I changed the way we're bringing in YouTube embeds. So before, Material UI already has a media card component where you could put in the URL that you want to use and what component you want to use. In our case, we were passing in as a prop iframe, and we were also passing in the source. So that was okay, but the problem was it was acting like we were hovering the entire time. So if you see, it's not letting me do it here. For some reason, when I inspect this with DevTools, it doesn't have the same hover effect. But anyway, when you hover, the YouTube button is entirely red, whereas normally it's, let me refresh so I can see this normally again. So, oh, now it's doing it. For some reason, I keep getting this always red button. Maybe it's because it's mobile. Sorry. I think that's the issue. Yeah, okay. So on mobile, we can't really do anything about it, but when we have more of a desktop view, we have this semi-transparent button, and then it only goes red when you hover. So for some reason, when we use the Material UI component, it was always red. I couldn't get it to change. So now I just have a card where I directly put an iframe in. It works, and it doesn't really add anything to the code, so I think it's fine. But you may see a difference in the code. Let's switch it back here. I've changed out, so a lot of the silly filler content that I had in there, I'm going to have to take out. So I'm starting to put in like real facts. We built this card out before. So here's what I came up with for that list component. And I know this all probably looks really small on your screen, so I encourage you to use that ngrok link if you can. But anyway, so we have the events list here, and we have some data, and we have some options. So if you don't pass in an image, then it goes full width like this, which I think works better when you have more content. Also, you don't have to pass in the secondary text if you don't want to. So just have, kind of showing a few of the options that we have here. I'm still thinking that I'd like to display the date of these events somewhere, but I also think it's time for me to move on and get this page looking like it's completed, and then if I have time I can go back and add in some details. So the rest, I do still have some of that filler content in here. So today, what I'd like to do is go in and maybe make some real content for some of these pieces, and also work on, let's see, some of the details. So as we go through, I'll point out some of the details that I still don't like about how this looks, and we'll fix those. All right. Okay, so I guess we'll get started. I'm going to start with Pomodoro clock. So let me reset this. So I like to break up the work in Pomodoro sessions. So we're going to do 25 minutes of code, and then I'll take a 5-minute break. I'll go back to the live chat. Oh, I got to say this out loud, though. Reuven says, how is it possible to be so handsome? I'm going to assume that that was directed towards me, and that I am the one that is so handsome. So I don't know. You could thank the person that cuts my hair, also my mom and dad. They probably had something to do with the handsomeness. I'm just messing around. I'm sure that was probably a joke, but it still feels good to get comments like that, so thank you. Okay. So let's get into some of the code. First off, let's put in a little bit more content, and I'm going to run some ideas by you about, kind of what I'm thinking. We have, right now, especially in this view, it's just a lot of content, like right in a row. It kind of works, but I don't know if my boss will like this idea or not, but I'm thinking about maybe we can split up the content into some sections. I don't know. I'm on the fence about that one, and I'm not sure that's something I can get done before a presentation, but it seems to me like sections might help break things up a little bit and make more sense of this content. So I don't know, as we're going through, if you see some, I don't know, some pattern to things where you think a section might be good, let me know. I know that's pretty vague. I just had the idea, an hour or two ago, so I'm still kind of thinking about it as well. But all right, one detail that I'd really like to change that keeps bothering me, so let's just change it right now, is I really want this logo to be centered. I don't know if it bothers anybody else, but on a larger screen, I think it looks fine to be over here, but when it's this small, it's close enough to the center that it looks weird. Let me know if you disagree with that, but I just think it looks like it's supposed to be centered, but it's off-centered to me. Only when it's this small, though. So first thing I'm going to do is just inspect this in DevTools, which if you are viewing this through that ngrok link, you should be able to do this as well. And so let's see what the container is. This will help to figure out. Alright, I don't like that. So the container that's large enough to actually make this go to the middle is this container here, this div. But the div also contains this button. I don't want the button to be centered. So let's see what we can do. Span typography, alright, let's check out how this really is in the component, right? Because Material UI is changing these into some divs. But let's see what the component actually looks like. So this is probably going to be in our app bar. So let's see the app bar here. Wow, The app bar is quite a large component. I haven't done anything with the app bar in a while. So here's our logo. And let's see. Is this the... Making sure. We should have two places with a logo. One of them is going to be the drawer. So, but I think we have that in a separate component. Typography, span, classes, flex. Interesting. That's really interesting how we did that. Navbar, toolbar, icon button. I'm looking at this. You all can probably see already, but I'm kind of puzzled looking at this that I did it this way. So I probably copied over an example from the Material UI documentation, which had typography as an element in the app bar, and it was probably just some text. And then what I did, instead of replacing typography with another element, I just added this image element inside of the typography element. I don't know that that's... this may be a waste of this element here. So I'm going to try to do a little bit, let's say refactoring here, to maybe clean this up and see what happens. So what I'd like to do is, let's see what this class's flex is doing right now, to see if we should keep it or we can get rid of it. So let's find flex. Okay, so it's just saying flex 1 for that. All right. Let's... Menu button, icon button. This class is the column 1 class. I wonder if we should have two different structures, one for small screen and one for large screen. I see some more of you saying hi in the live chat. Hey, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining in. Okay, so here was my thought. If I go changing this, it's not only going to change for the mobile view, it's going to change for the desktop view. I don't want the desktop view to change, so I need to not just start deleting things. Ideally, what I would be able to do is just take one of these classes. Like, let's take a look at the header image class for an example. And use a media query, or the Material UI version of a media query, which I'll show you an example in just a second, and just change the style like that. So I think that'll be the best way to go for now, even though I really don't like that typography element. Maybe now, when it's this close to the presentation, isn't the time for me to be going in and just trying things and hoping they don't break. And I can't find that header image. There we are. Okay. That's it, huh? Let me see where that was at. Okay, so that actually is on the image. That typography. Alright, let's go back to DevTools, play around just a little bit. I kind of think we're going to have to change the structure of this. If it was just structured slightly different, this wouldn't be as big of a deal. Alright, so with 100%. So this is the yeah. Alright, let's try this with percent. Okay. So the problem was these containers weren't. Yeah, this isn't going to work with this structure. So we can set the alignment to be centered, but you see the container here is already off center. So we're not going to get it to be centered exactly with the element like that. If we took it out of the flow though, is this sticky? No, this nav isn't sticky. And maybe it should be. Alright, I have an idea. Here's my idea. And I'm going to say it before I do it so that you all can stop me if it's a silly idea. Alright, so number one, I think it makes sense for this nav to be sticky on mobile because there's a lot of scrolling going on here. It would be nice to be able to just get to the menu without having to scroll back up. I would appreciate that. So I think at the very least on mobile we should have a sticky navigation or fixed navigation, whatever you prefer. Maybe even on desktop, that might be the way to go. But at least on mobile we should do that. Secondly, if we're going to do a fixed navigation, we could just position this thing differently so that, alright, like potentially we might be able to just take it out of the flow right now. So we'll see how this works. But let's, alright, good. So I'm getting some feedback. So Nikki says make it thinner while scrolling. It's a personal preference. I dislike all the space that it consumes. Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. So first things first, let's make it sticky and then we can try to shrink it a little bit. I definitely think we can shrink it. There's a lot of white space happening. This logo could be smaller and still be, you know, perfectly readable. So let's do that. A new Java version. Remind me later. I don't even know why I have Java on here. I'm not sure if I actually use anything that needs it. I suspect that Material UI probably already has a class that'll make this fixed. So let's just see if we can add that class before I try to do it on my own. Where is this? I know I have the Material UI documentation already open. There we are, in at least one place. I probably have it open multiple places. Do you ever get to that point on your desktop that it's faster just to search, just to open a new tab and go to a website than to try to find what website, what tab like you already have open with that website in there? I said that really awkwardly. Hopefully it made sense. But that's where I'm at right now, is that I know I have certain websites open, but I just don't know where. So I end up just opening them up again. Let's check out the app bar. And let's see, fixed. Awesome. So we can do position. What's the difference between sticky? No, sticky is not universally supported, and we'll fall back to static when available. Different options described here. Alright, yeah, I want to see what the options are. Okay, so sticky's experimental. Alright, I remember seeing this before. So stickies for base average between interesting. And it falls back to static otherwise. let's see what sticky is supported by. So position sticky, so Edge supports it, Firefox partially supports it. Okay, not supported on table, not supported on THLS. Safari supports it. Alright, let's use position sticky because we have pretty good support. Yeah, I like the support on this. Alright, cool. If you've never been to caniuse.com before, it's very, very useful, super easy. One thing I really like is as soon as you go there, your cursor is automatically put right here. So as soon as it loads, you can just start typing, and you don't even, it just searches as you go. So really simple and fast, and you would just immediately know whether or not a specific thing in CSS or JavaScript or HTML will work. Also, if you're not using MDN, so Mozilla Developer Network, you should definitely check it out. Usually has way more information than I need, but the examples are super useful. So those are, if you only take away 2 things from this stream, those 2 things will be more helpful to you probably than anything else that I do. Okay. And I know I'm not keeping up with the live chat right now. In about 10 minutes or so, I'm going to check back in the live chat and see what I've been missing and respond to any questions. Alright, so let's add that in. This app bar, is it position? Yeah, it was position. So instead of static, we're going to type in sticky. Let's give that a save and see what happens. Alright, nothing so far. Maybe I need to put in some more information. And what happened to that? Did I seriously close Material UI? History. Now you can see all my browsing history. Ragtime page. Where am I at? Did I not close it? Wow. Okay. I don't know what I did with it. Easy to get back to though. App bar. Let's look at the API. Sticky. Alright, maybe we will go to the demos because it doesn't explain what else. I mean, it seems to me like there needs to be some other indicator of like when is it supposed to go sticky. Simple bar buttons. Alright. It looks like none of these are sticky. Yeah, these are all position static. Let me check. You're looking for position fix. Sticky is useful for navbars that are down a bit and stick to the top after you scroll. Oh, that's what the sticky is then. Never mind. I feel silly now. Okay. I was thinking that sticky would give us something, an option like the app bar would go, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Thanks, Nikki. Alright, let's go to position fixed. I was just excited to use something new. Alright. Ah, no. Okay, we gotta do... unexpected, but I should have expected it. So our content now, since the app bar has gone to a fixed position, all of our content has now gone up to the top of the page. So we need, you'd think Material UI would have already had something to take that into account. Let's see. It's fixed. Oh well. Let's check out the layout. What's this portal? Huh. I haven't seen that component before. Alright. Let's take app bar, and where's our main? Let's go back to our layout component. And this is where we bring in the app bar. And then we have everything else falls in this main component here. So if we go up to classes main, right now it's the only thing we have on there is this flex. So what we want to do then is set a margin top. Yeah, I guess margin will work. And we want the margin top to be the same height as the app bar, but I'd like them to always be the same. Let's check our app bar component. I'm just checking to see if we have a height set already. I guess we don't. It's kind of odd. I would have expected that. There's our root. Alright, let's go back here and see. Okay, we do have, this is that root component, which basically is just a container component here. Let's see where we're getting our height from. So from somewhere in here then. Okay, so some of our height at least is set here by this icon to 48 pixels. All right, that makes sense. Let's see where we can put height at. If I'm confusing you right now, then hold on. It's going to make a lot of sense once I actually do it, assuming that it works. And I think it'll be easier to see it than for me to explain it. That's interesting. Okay, that's pretty cool and interesting. Let's see, header height. Okay. The way this is set up is not going to make it easy to change the height. All right, let's see. Just searching for a component that when I add a height, it would actually make a change. Alright, maybe this is not going to work out like the way I want it to work out. Alright, so basically we can have it be fixed and have everything work if we just put a height of 65 on our root component. Height. And what do we do on layout? Whatever I did on layout, I need to change. Okay. Alright, my timer went off, so it's time for me to go to the live chat. But we can see we now have our fixed app bar. And yeah, that definitely needs to be smaller. But in any case, we have it fixed now. Okay. We've gotten deeper and deeper into this hole of like, all I wanted to do was make this centered. And it's now become so much more complicated. Alright, let me set a 5-minute timer then. And I'm going to scroll up to the top of the live chat, go down, and I'm going to try to get to as many comments and questions as I can. Let's see. I'm waiting for 5 hours. Gander7 says, have you seen Visual Studio live sharing? You can code collaboratively between Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio, even sharing a session. Code.visualstudio.com. Alright, it's the rest of the URL there. Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out. I have not used it yet. John says, I got PM today, a painting question. I answered honestly. Then I was destroyed with a horrible lashing out. So, Jesse, it's nice to come here where people are civilized. Oh, I'm really sorry that happened to you. But, yeah, I'm never going to lash out at anyone in the chat. Even if you said something that made me really mad, I would still try my best to just be chill about it. And I'd probably just block you if I thought that it was harming the experience in the live chat. But anyway, I've been trying to be really chill about everything lately. Not in the live chat in particular, like obviously in the live chat, but just in general, especially with my kids, because they're all little, and so I've been trying to just be really calm and keep like a nice tone of voice with, you know, even if I'm mad. So anyway, this is definitely a nice calm place to be in. So if you're joining us for the first time, you might not know that, but feel free to ask any questions, even no matter how basic you think they are. Nobody's going to get mad at you for it or be mean about it, and if they are, then if they're really, really mean and they won't stop, I'll block them. If they're mean, though, I usually say something, kind of politely, tell people to be nice. Let's see. Grimlocker says, can I ask which is better for me to study, Bootstrap or Angular? I'm still new. Okay, well, it looks like you did get some answers already, and the answers are pretty good. So Joey says Bootstrap and Angular are two different types of tools, and yeah, that's 100% correct. So Bootstrap is for user interface, so like design it's basically like a pre-built design framework that you can use, you know, their components. Angular is, it's hard to explain, especially I guess if you're just starting out. Yeah, basically the easy answer, the quick answer is you can certainly study both at the same time because they do two different things. You can use Bootstrap with Angular. You could use it on its own, and you know, same thing. You can use Angular on its own. They do different things. So if you'd like to learn them both, go ahead. If you want to learn one or the other, that's fine, but you don't use them for the same thing. If you want me to go more in depth into the differences, please let me know. I can do that, but I don't want to spend too much time going to the question if no one's interested in it. Angel says, I agree with the fixed navigation or a button you can click and it will send you to the top. That's another good option. That's a good option as well. I wonder if Material UI has something like that built in. I know I've done that on other sites. I'm not sure I've done it with the React site yet. So I have some code that's probably jQuery that we could maybe adapt to do that, or hopefully Material UI has something like that. We'll have to see. Let me know what you all think. Is it better to just have a button that sends you to the top, like a very small, you know, button that would maybe pop up after you scroll so far? You know, just maybe in the bottom right-hand corner it would pop up. Or is it better to have that fixed navbar that follows you all the way down? Let's see. John Hansen says, or make just the hamburger fixed. Okay, just the hamburger icon. That's interesting. I wonder how that would look. Stuart Taylor says, close the tabs. Okay. Noble and Savage is alright. So if you all remember, whenever I was talking about how I had all my tabs open and it's easier just to search for something like in my browser than to have to find the tab I have that's open. Noble and Savage says, inspects memory footprint of browser. Your browser is using 5.3 gigabytes of RAM. You laugh at that, but if I saw that, I wouldn't be surprised at all. My browser is always using the most RAM out of anything. Alright, I'm going to check. I only have a few more comments here in the live chat, so let me check out a few of these comments before we go back to the code. Michael Gee or G, I'm not sure I pronounced the last name there. If you let me know, I'll try to pronounce it correctly. But anyway, the question is, I just started using Material UI version 1. I noticed the button element doesn't have an on-click attribute, so how do you trigger on-click events with buttons for Redux actions, etc.? How do I... Sorry. I'm always yawning on these streams. I'm really sorry. You know what? I'm not really sure how I handle buttons. It's usually you gotta be able to use on-click with a button, right? We had to have done this before with something. Let me think about that. We may actually come across a button in the stream today. If anybody remembers how we've handled buttons in previous projects, please put it in the live chat, because I know we've done stuff like that before and we have used on-click things, so I just can't remember right now if we had any issues with that. Ruben says the handsome comment wasn't a joke. You've got a good phenotype. I envy that beard. All right, cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And yeah, well, I got my beard trimmed yesterday, and I got a haircut, so it probably looks okay right now. Normally, I let it go, and it gets real bushy and wild. But right now, it's like looks slightly less wild. But I appreciate the comment, though. Oh, all right. So we do have some other opinions on this Navbar. The sticky Navbar would look a little nicer. Small button fading as you scrolls down. All right. So maybe we don't go with the fixed Navbar. I'm getting some opinions against the fixed Navbar here. I want to see how this looks. Oh, okay. So the fixed Navbar also messed up some stuff for us here. So that was unexpected. All right, let's go back here, and where's our layout? I don't know, where are we at? Yeah, this is where we did it. Let's go back to static. Save that. And verify that this now works. No, what the heck? Oh, you know what? We changed some other stuff, so that's probably why it's not gonna work. All right, what else did we change? All right, yeah. So we're getting some more opinions about fixed Navbars being annoying if they're too thick. Yeah, so we could make it thinner, or I don't know. I'm thinking now maybe we could just avoid having to like deal with this like cascade of issues that we're seeing here if we just go with that button, that scroll to top button. This also seems like something that could wait until after the presentation, so it's probably something that doesn't need to be done right now. So we'll keep in mind to try to find a component that'll give us that scroll to top, or some other solution. But I think I've gotten myself into like too much stuff, considering I have a presentation tomorrow. I think it's at 11 a.m. tomorrow. What the heck is this? Healing from... Why are we importing healing? That's definitely a mistake. When did that change? Alright, let me just go back. Hidden, there we go. I accidentally changed that, so alright, good. Okay, this is back to normal. Alright, so we're back to normal here. We are... Oops, let's switch it to here. We're right back where we started, and that is, how do we make this centered? Alright, let me take a drink, and let's start over. For all of you that are new to the stream, one of the biggest features of this stream that makes it stand out from other streams is that I don't rehearse anything. So mistakes can and do happen often. And this is my everyday work. So we work through the mistakes together. I just realized that I also forgot to start my timer again. So let's start the timer. All right. Now let's go back to this. Alright, so our mission is get this logo centered on small screens. What we're not going to do is change the... We're going to try to change as little as possible in this app bar. Okay. Reuven says, I heard centering things is half the job of a front-end dev. It certainly seems like that today, doesn't it? Alright, so let's go back to our app bar component where we actually have this, and let's see what we can do. Let's see if... Let's see if we can add a set of media queries to the classes that we're already using that change some of the values. That may work. So here's what we're going to do. Inspect the image itself. That's interesting. It looks like the link is only on the bottom half of this. Let's see if that's correct. Let's open this up so I can actually see. All right, yeah, let's go to a new page. Oh no, that did work. Cool. Alright, I'm not worried about that anymore. As I was scrolling through here, it looked like the link tag would not work, but it did. Alright, so let's start here, and let's see. We probably already did this. I don't think I ever actually went through completely with what I was trying to do. Alright, let's see. Grim says, isn't center XS/SMMD going to work on React? Alright, let's see. To this button. Okay. Alright, maybe this will work. Position flex, align item center. Let's try this. Justify content center. Awesome. Okay, so if we justify content center, And then we take this and we could probably justify content left. Didn't take us out far enough. We also need to make display flex. What is this? Yeah, we're still off. We're slightly off. All right, I have some suggestions here in the live chat. So Niki's saying, instead of justify content, use justify item on the thing itself. That's what I was looking for, justify item. Okay. On that button, justify item. Okay. Let's take that back. Grim says, I love this channel. Awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Using Bootstrap or Flexbox. We had a question if I'm using Bootstrap or Flexbox. Center. Rook says center on the logo. John says you need to make 100% width or stretch the content. Yeah, no, we need. Alright, where are we going? Display flex. No. All right, this is where I had that. Okay. So I don't need that. Justify items left. Alright, that's what I thought. It's not doing anything anymore. Okay. Alright, Niki says, okay, I think I got it, I think. Alright, awesome. Let's see what's happening here. Oh, yes. My boss just sent me an image to use instead of that cute little puppy. Cool. It's a cool image. Alright, awesome. So after we fix this, I'm going to put that image in. Alright. Do justify items flex start on the hamburger container. Okay. On the hamburger container. And then on the logo container, the span. Okay. So on this one, we'll do justify items, center. Alright, that didn't do anything for me, but it's possible that I've changed too much other stuff. Let me give it a refresh to clear out anything else that I've done. Oh, wait, sorry, justify self. Okay. I'm glad that I caught that before I refreshed it. Alright, so justify self on... center. Alright, still not. Alright, I am going to refresh because I think I've changed too much stuff and now I can't remember what I changed, which is the danger of DevTools for me. Actually, it's good practice for me to frequently put in what I've done in DevTools into the actual code. And let's try this again. What? Sorry, Phoenix Abhishek. The bot got you, I think, for all those emojis, so don't worry about it. Just, I guess the bot doesn't like when you put that many emoji in. Alright, so Nikki, let me try to put in what you said before. So on the container, which I'm assuming is the button then? Maybe I'm putting this in the wrong part, but let's do justify items, flex start, and then on this span, justify self, center. Alright, yeah, so this is not working for me. It's possible that I'm putting it in the wrong place though. So is it supposed to be both of them self? Oops. Self. Alright, so on the button now I have justify self, flex start, and then I also on the span I have justify self center, and column 1 needs to be display flex. Alright, so it looks like, yeah, we have, well, if you mean this div. Oh, Nikki said it doesn't work. Sorry for wasting time. Don't worry about it. It's not a waste of time to try out different things. Alright, cool. So let's keep trying. I apologize if this is getting boring or something, but I mean this is there's use in this just to see how how frustrating it can be sometimes to try to get something seemingly so simple to work. Alright. I'm going to give it one more shot with these different flex properties before we go to actually adjusting the markup. Alright, so Joey has a solution that says it worked. So let's try. You could try my solution on the logo's parent span, position absolute left 50%, transform, translate. Okay. So the logo's parent. So let me refresh to get rid of everything we just did. Alright, so here's our logo's parent, and that's this, I'm assuming you mean the span and not this A tag. So I'm going to go with the span, and let's go with position, absolute, and left 50%, and then transform, translate, translate negative 50%. Oh, it works. Nice. Alright, let's check it out here. Let's check out what it's done to us on the larger view. Yeah, so it's done this. So we're definitely going to have to put that into a media query. But so we'll figure out at what point we're dropping this stuff. So at whatever point we're dropping that stuff, maybe we could do it, or even, yeah, maybe somewhere around there. So I'm guessing that's maybe like the small media query. All right, cool. I like that. It almost like it seems a little weird, you know, that we're doing this to center it, but my viewpoint is this. If it works, then it's okay. As long as it's not causing some weird like performance thing that's messed up, then I'm fine with that. If later on we find a solution that seems like it's a little cleaner, great. But right now, I really like that. It works. So let's go with that. So let me go over here and we'll find that span, which I believe that this is our class's flex. So let me, all right, good. So we're only using that once. So just want to make sure you aren't going to mess anything else up. So on our class's flex, that's where we're going to put this media query. And where did we do the other one? We used the media query somewhere else already. Did we do it in the app bar? App bar menu item? Maybe we did it here. No, that wasn't it. We didn't do it here, did we? Maybe we used it down here, because we are hiding some things down here. Oh, okay, the hidden small and down. That's it. Okay, so we use that. But there was another place where we used the media query. Let's see. Oh, okay, you know what? There's some. So Niki's asking how exactly that works. That it would probably be a good idea to describe what's going on here. So, all right. So we have this position absolute. So it's taking it out of the flow of, you know, this is a span that's coming after this element, right? So we were having trouble centering things like that because it was always trying to center within this area, which always would be off because it's not taking into account the whole area. So when we do position absolute, that takes it out of the normal flow. So now we're, you know, the whole area is being, you know, considered here. So within, once we do that, we can do this left 50%. So let me take off transform. We'll go one at a time. All right, so position absolute gets us now out of the flow. Then we go left 50%, which actually doesn't look too bad. Let's shrink it down so we can see more. Okay. So that means we're going 50% to the left, but it's from this point. So this point is 50% over. But that's not taking into account the width of this element, right? Because we want the center of this element to be 50% over. That's why we do transform translate 50%. That pushes the element over this way. So negative 50%, right? That pushes it over half the width of this element, which then makes the center, the very center of this element, if we can imagine a line going right in the center of this logo, that center line would line up exactly with the center line of this whole app bar, right? So if the site itself had a center line, now the logo center line matches up. So that's why we did that translate negative 50. So Joey, correct me if I'm wrong on any of that, but that's basically how this works. So I really like it. I mean, I know everybody's using Flexbox and Grid now, but this solution is really nice. I think like it makes sense. I've definitely used some stuff like that before. You know, compared to a lot of what you can do now with Grid and Flexbox, it seems like, oh, we shouldn't have to go through all that. But like the logic is, you know, it does make sense, and it definitely works. So thanks again, Joey. All right. So where was... Oh, okay. We need to actually do this, but only for small screens. So I need to see... Let me check in Material UI documentation. Since I can't find it in our code, we need... Let's go to CSS and JS, and let's use... There we are. Theme breakpoints. Great. Let's pull this out. And we'll do... Let's go to that flex element, and we're going to add in a theme breakpoint, and let's try small. I'm assuming small is SM. Seems reasonable. And let's go now to display. Wow, it's giving me display absolute. And then we're going to go left 50% and transform translate, and it's going to be negative 50%. All right, let's save that and see what we have. Alright, not exactly working out. You know what, because we still had that in DevTools. Let's refresh and see what we have. Okay, not working. I messed up something. Display. What did I mess up? What did I mess up? Breakpoints down. Did I set that opposite? No, it's working now. Maybe. No, this is something's wrong. Display. No, I put display instead of position, right? Position. There we are. Oh, John, I see you had that too, and Michael, so, and Joey. Everybody got that. Good job. All right, so let's see where that breakpoint is going to hit. Great. That's perfect. It's not so like fast, so you're going to have some like a second where it goes over. I'm not worried about that. I mean, if anybody is doing this stuff like I am, then they're probably a developer, so they will understand. Awesome. Oh, that's so cool. It works. Very cool. All right. Joey typed in caps and got banned for 5 seconds from the from the bot. It's fun that we have a bot in here now. All right, so my timer just went up, and that's awesome, just in time to get that centered. I'm gonna be honest, I really expected that we would get more done today than just this. Oh well, it happens. All right, so let me look in the live chat, answer some questions, and we'll see what time it is after that. Maybe I'll put in the new image, maybe not. We'll see how it goes. All right, where did I leave off at? Okay. Maybe there's not a lot of questions. I'm not finding a lot of questions here, so it might not be too much more to talk about in this stream. All right, here's a question. So Prudvi. Prudhvi. Not sure how to pronounce that. Please correct me if I was wrong. But anyway, the question is, why is React so useful? I know it reuses components like recycler view in Java. I mean, we can simply copy and paste component code again. Yeah, you're right. We can copy and paste again, but think like in a bigger like in a bigger app, you don't want to be copy and pasting a lot of stuff, right? It saves you a lot of time, and then when you have everything split out into components, it's really nice to be able to reuse them. And it's not just about copy and pasting. I mean, you can do things like this, where when we do this list, this is the list card component. We pass in an array, right, and we map over the array items, and we could have 500 items and all being rendered, and we only did this one time. So right now I have this list data component, so all the data lives here, in a JavaScript array, but this is just some kind of test data for the presentation tomorrow, but we could be pulling this from a database somewhere and send it right in here, and now from one component we could have just rendered, as I said before, 500 or whatever, however many you want. So I think that makes it more clear about the benefit of using components. So maybe I'm misunderstanding the question, but hopefully that makes it a bit more clear. You definitely wouldn't want to actually put all of this data in and then copy and paste this 500 times, right? It would be a lot of code, and it would take a long time. And then if somebody needed to come in here and make an edit, that'd be kind of a mess. Anyway, so that's, as I see it, that's one of the benefits of using React. And it's not like other systems don't do this in their own way. It's not unique to React, but it's definitely a benefit. Let's see. The Johnny Plays asks, what programming language is this? This is JavaScript. In particular, though, we're using React, which is a JavaScript library that it looks like a mix of HTML and JavaScript. It's not really. This is like some syntactic sugar, really. It's JSX, right? I believe it's called JSX when it looks like the HTML tags. When in reality, all this is this is JavaScript functions. So each time you see a tag like this, really what's happening is it's creating a new element like you could do normally in JavaScript. Sandbay says, I like your radio. Do you mean the Free Code Camp radio that's going on 24/7 now? Yeah, it's pretty cool. If y'all haven't checked it out yet, I mean, I'm sure you've seen on the channel now, we have this radio station, and all the songs are created by Free Code Camp members. I don't really say members, like, it's not like we pay a membership fee or anything, but created by people who are in Free Code Camp. So it's pretty cool. Check it out. And then there's a live chat going on. Every time I've been in there, there's been at least like 20 people. So it's pretty cool. Like Quincy was in there for a while talking. So you never know who's going to pop in and talk. So it's kind of cool just to listen to while you're doing other things throughout the day. Emerson says, it's cool to know I'm not alone when working with CSS. Yeah, I mean, I personally like CSS, but it can definitely be tricky sometimes. Let's see. Almost to the end here. Gander7 says, I hate data import from systems with no validation. Were you talking about the data I was just saying when I was talking about bringing data in? Yeah, I mean, right now I'm not worried about it because this is just test stuff, but in general you would want to have some validation. I'm a little bit more lenient with that when I have control over all the data and where it's coming from. So it's way less likely that we're going to get weird stuff. Oh, okay, Gander7 says, no, it's what I'm working on. Okay, cool. Alright. For some reason, Google on my phone keeps thinking that I'm talking to it. Keeps like popping up saying it doesn't recognize my voice, which is weird. But anyway, alright, I've gotten to the end of the live chat. I think I'm going to take a break now because I feel like I need a break. And so I'm not going to put in the new image. So maybe that'll be a surprise for tomorrow that we'll unveil the new header image, or the hero image. So we'll have to say goodbye to the cute puppy, and we'll have an actual image of campus. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jeff Miller says, I know you're working on the mobile look now, but on desktop, the Navbar text is compacted together. All right, let's take a look at that. You know what, Jeff? I'm not seeing it here. Could you let me know what browser and device you're looking at that with? And also the browser version, if you could. So you can just put it here in the chat. Even if it's after the stream ends, there'll still be like a minute or two where you can put it in the chat. So maybe we're using something that doesn't work in all browsers. Nikki says, put the puppy somewhere as an Easter egg. He's like a mascot by now. I was just thinking that as I was saying we're going to get rid of it, I'm thinking, like, is there a way to put images in the console so that if somebody opens DevTools, they'll see it? If there is, I think I should definitely do it. Alright. Jeff says tried in Edge and Firefox. Okay, I'll have to test it. We're definitely going to have to do some thorough testing before this goes live. I'm okay with not testing it that much before the presentation because I'm going to be displaying it from, from my computer, and so it should be all right. I can control the environment. But yeah, maybe we'll definitely have to figure out what's going on there. All right. Thanks, Jeff, for pointing that out and for testing it out in various ways. All right, but anyway, I think we had a good stream. It took longer to do a little thing than I thought it would, but we worked through it, and that's always, I mean, that's a win, right? Even if it took longer, that's a win. We got it to work. It looks awesome, and you all helped a lot. And so anyway, yeah, happy Valentine's Day for everybody out there. Also, happy beginning of Lent. It's Ash Wednesday, so for anybody that I guess is Catholic, or even there are non-Catholics, I think, that celebrate Lent, I think. Anyway, so an odd day that we have both happening on the same day. But anyway, whatever you're celebrating today, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all back tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully my meetings don't go too long, but I should be back maybe around the same time, maybe about 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. All right. So I'll see you then.